Carlos's continued studies in the field of psychology and sociology have helped him to realize that people of all ages can grow professionally and personally. Help me welcome to the stage Carlos Alvarez.
Good evening. My name is Carlos Alvarez, and I'm excited to be here with you this evening. Yeah, that's my name, Carlos Alvarez. Let me ask you a question. How many of you here are really good at remembering people's names? By a show of hands. Okay, let me ask you this then. How many of you are really good at remembering people's faces? Thought so. Yeah, all right. You know why that happens? You know why we remember people's faces and don't remember people's names? When we are introduced or when we meet someone for the first time, as they are saying their name to us, you know what we're thinking? We're thinking what we want to say next, which is why their name goes in one ear, out the other. It's amazing. There's a variety of different... Oh, good. Many of you raised your hand. I think some of you still act like kids. You know what's interesting? Some of you might look at me and you might say, hey, what are you talking about? I've learned from a very young age how to look at people. I know how to stand. I know how to use my hands. So what are you talking about? That's true. You do know that. But here's the interesting thing. The interesting thing is what you do on your personal time, when you look at someone, when you stand and talk to someone, how you utilize your hands is dramatically different in your professional life. You can really make a difference when you interact with your guests. Let me ask you this. Has this ever happened to you? You've gone to the store. You go to the mall, you walk into a store, you walk in, you really don't have anything in mind you want to get, but as you walk in, you go over and you're looking at something and you hear footsteps. You know who that is, right? Who is that? Sales associate. So you're looking at something and they come up to you and what do they say to you? What do they say? Can I help you? And what do most of us say if we're just looking? What do we say? No. As a matter of fact, they don't even finish saying, can I help you? We're already saying, just looking, just looking. Then there's other times you go to the store, and this time you have in your mind what you want to get. You get in the store, you walk in. I'm sorry, what was that? Nobody says anything. Maybe no one's there, or maybe you look in the back and there's a couple people that are restocking things, folding clothes. You look over to the other side, maybe there's two associates talking to each other. Someone's reading the paper, someone's on the phone. And if they're on the phone and you get close enough to listen to the conversation, you realize it's not even a business call, it's a personal call. Have you been there or is it just me? I get irritated when that happens. I get frustrated. And you know what I do? I leave the store and I go spend my money elsewhere. Now here's something that's really interesting to think about. If you can notice that about others, guess what? Others can notice that about you. So here's what that means. As soon as the door is open and guests begin to come in, no matter what your role is, someone's watching and calling. Someone is watching you. From the time that door opens, no matter what your role is, someone is watching you. There may be no one in front of you, but someone out of your eyesight is watching what you're doing. I don't mean to scare you. I don't mean to frighten you, but the reality is you have definite control over the experience that each and every guest you come in contact with can have. Have you ever said this to someone, or has someone ever said this to you? Look me in the eyes and say that. Why do you think we say that to others? How long can I look at someone before I make them feel uncomfortable? Right? Here's what research says to us. Research says you can look at someone up to 14 seconds before you make them feel a little uncomfortable. You can look at someone between 15 and 19 seconds, and most of us would say, hey, take a picture, buddy, it lasts longer. And if you look at someone for longer than 20 seconds, we're going to call you a stalker. If you want to make somebody feel uncomfortable, if you want to make somebody feel those heebie-jeebies, by all means, look at them for longer than 20 seconds. As parents, you've experienced this. It's a great technique to use with your kids. Looking at them for longer than 20 seconds, they look at, okay, you're the boss. When you talk to other individuals in your own time, in your personal time, great technique, maintain that long eye contact. You can freak some people out. But when it comes to your professional life, when it comes to your work here, when you are with your guests, the last thing you want to do is to make somebody feel uncomfortable. To talk to you. Can you do me a favor? Can you please stand up? Move the chair in or aside. I want you to stand up and look at me. That stance that I just gave you, you're probably sitting back going, why would he tell me to stand in this uncomfortable stance? It's due to NLP. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. This person already, the dancer. These are the individuals that when I talk to them, they tell me, I have a lot of energy, I can't stand in one spot. So they're going from one side to the other. No matter how much room they have a tendency to be moving all over the place. What is your perception of someone who you're talking to and they're moving all the time? What is your perception? They're antsy. Stop. They're nervous. Listen to the words you're choosing to use to describe what this person looks like they're doing. Just by that simple movement, we're already perceiving that individual in a certain way. That 55% can really make a difference. Then we have the very famous fig leaf. This is a position that many individuals take. Well, as a matter of fact, when you get home, take a look at some of the pictures, if there's any groups involved. Whenever you tell how many smiles per day do you think the average elementary age child has? Let me say that again. Elementary age child, how many times a day do they smile? I'll take a number. How many? 120. I had 120. Anybody else another number? 300. Anybody? One more number? 1,000. Thank you. Man, I felt like an auctioneer there for a second. You know what? Research tells us this. Elementary age children average 800 smiles a day. Some more, some less. So let me ask you this. What do you think research says about us full-grown adults? How many times a day do we smile? I got a lot of very optimistic people here. 2, 5. And you know what? You've met some of those people too that you look at and you go, come on, this can't be that bad. Like, why not? You're like, come on, a little smile. And you look at and you go, I am. Smile. It's amazing what a smile can do. In the situations you find yourself in sometimes where you might have a confrontation with a guest, maybe something happened to them and they're taking it out on you, you know what? That facial expression come in handy. Being able to look at someone in the eye, being able to see if you can resolve their challenge, but most importantly, if you can smile, it will really add to the dynamics of that interaction. It's amazing what you can do. 800 smiles with children, adults average 8 smiles a day. That is just amazing to me. 8. What I've done by sharing with you these 3 areas, eye contact, balanced stance, and gesturing, is I've made you aware. I've brought it to a conscious level. Did you realize that we go through life unconscious and we prefer it that way? From the moment you wake up, rub your eyes, scratch your head, or whatever else you do, from that moment you wake up to the end of your day, you go through life unconscious. And we like it that way because we don't have to think about it, we just do it. I've just shared with you 3 specific things you can do to enhance the positive experience.